So yesterday after the game, obviously we're all frustrated. We don't want the Raiders to ever look like that, especially at home in the home opener against a division rival. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And as I watched the game and as I took my notes and as I made my video yesterday, I kind of had a feeling that when I went over the film, that what was going to be seen was that there were going to be some mistakes that can be easily fixable. And we're going to go over, I've got a bunch of plays here that I've plucked out of the All-22, and I'm going to show you some mostly bad, some good, and some reason to maybe take a deep breath after what was a very bad game for the most part. Obviously, the defense was pretty good overall. Geno was terrible. Ashton kind of was doing okay, and then they threw the run in the garbage for some reason. We'll talk about all of it. I do want to say, because I was a little frustrated yesterday, especially in how I was talking toward people that were extremely angry about the game. You guys have every right to be angry and frustrated and even hyperbolic because I get it. We want to win so bad. And you get Pete Carroll, and you get Geno Smith, and you get Brock and Ashton and Chip Kelly, and you just think like, now's the time. And we had a great week 1, and then week 2 was the complete opposite. You have every right to feel and react the way you want to react and feel as a fan. I do want to show you, though, in this film, it's not all terrible. In fact, I would rather make these mistakes now in week 2. By the time we get to week 15, this team is going to be so much better. And the reason why I'm not panicking at the moment is because I truly believe this, and because the film shows you that these mistakes are easily fixable. Now, I had us losing to the Commanders to start the season. I had us going 1-2 to start the season, finishing the season 9-8. Now, we don't know about the health of Jaden Daniels, and our defense is a little bit better than I thought, and the Commanders have been not that great. So maybe there's a chance here to steal a game where we are going to be underdogs on the road again. But what we saw from Geno, particularly in this game, is not what he has been his whole career, especially since his resurrection. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend like in a game he forgot how to play the quarterback position. We're not going to do that. We're not going to sit here and pretend like Chip Kelly doesn't know how to call an offense and that Pete Carroll doesn't know how to coach an NFL team. Sometimes you have bad games, and I get it, the frustration. I totally get it. We're going to go over the film here. We're going to break it all down. Now, I will say before I get into this isn't going to be a complete film breakdown of every single snap that Dylan Parham had and the intricacies of Isaiah Polamau and his 3 technique. That's not this. This is a bunch of plays that I've picked out to show you basically the microcosm of how the game went, what I'm concerned about, what I'm not concerned about, and what I'm excited about. So if you want a more detailed approach to this, there are other videos out there, but this is a good indicator of what our team was last night. So we're going to get into this right now. I will just say hit that subscribe button. Shout out to all my new subscribers. We're trying to get to 15,000. About 50% of you are not yet subscribed that keep watching these videos. Also, shout out to my $5 and $10 patrons. If you want to become a patron or a YouTube member, the link is in the description below, or you can click the join button under any of the videos. Okay, so let's get into it here. Right off the rip, we're starting with the Geno Smith interception. So let me just make sure I'm recording here. Okay. So there's not much to say here. Obviously, if we watch this play unfold, it was a good play call and good play design by Chip Kelly to come out here and get a wide open Trey Tucker. And Geno overthrows him by 100 yards, right? I mean, no doubt about it. It's the worst throw he's probably made in a long, long time. This angle doesn't really do anything justice. It just shows that the pocket was pretty good. Genty picks up the block here, right? You could see that clear as day. And it was a bad throw. The reason why I want to talk about this is because this is not the type of player that Geno is. He throws it right when he should, right? Trey Tucker's open. I don't know why Geno was wanting to lead him more this way, or maybe he wasn't wanting to lead him and it was just a bad throw. But 99% of the time, Geno Smith is able to put the ball right here to Trey Tucker, right where he wants to put it. And this just happened to be the one time it was an errant throw, a really bad throw. And you know what's unfortunate is like it still was a tip. Like it was a bad throw, but like that could have hit the ground, and maybe the whole game is different. But great play design, great protection. It just so happened that he had a bad pass. I'm not going to lie to you and pretend like all of a sudden this quarterback here cannot make this throw here. I'm just not going to sit here and pretend that that's a reality. The second pick that he threw, which I didn't pull, was just like a throw it up ball and see what happens. It was third and whatever. He did have a guy open a little bit ahead of him, but he would have had to throw it back across his body. And I don't know if in that game yesterday where he was just off, if he was going to be able to make that throw. So I didn't pull the second interception that he threw to Dante because, again, it was a 50-50 ball. It flipped the field because the guy caught him, was down at the 2. I did pull his third pick, but we're going to look at the Ashton Jeanty play now. In the third quarter, we started to establish the run a little bit more, and Jeanty was playing really well. And people were angry that we didn't run the ball more in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and I was one of those people. Even though we were down and we were against the clock, I do think we were getting 4 or 5 yards a pop and that we should have been able to run the ball. In the first half, particularly on the first drive, people were angry. Why is Zamir White in the game right now? Well, I'll tell you why he was in the game. Because on the third play or whatever it was that we had on offense, or the fourth play, I don't know what it was, Ashton Jeanty didn't know what the play was. And he ran the wrong way, and he got a hit on Geno Smith because of it. And if you're a young player and you make a mistake, you need to come out of the game. Unless you're the quarterback, obviously. You need to come out of the game and understand that you need to know what the right play is. And we're going to get into a good Ashton Jeanty play that shows, that I'm not losing confidence in Ashton at all. In fact, after the game I saw yesterday, I'm gaining confidence. But this is a play right here that could have been a big play, and it ended up not a big play because Ashton Jeanty wasn't able to pick up his assignment. This was in the first quarter. This was a third down right when we settled for our first field goal. So let's watch how the play unfolds. It's a sack, and it's whatever. Now, if we watch it from here, we're going to go slowly. Look at Ashton Jeanty. He goes to pick up the quote-unquote blitzer, even though they only rush 4 guys. Look at Glaze right here. Look at Glaze. Do you see Glaze's hand? He's pointing because he knows this guy is coming here to pick Glaze, and Jeanty needs to pick up Khalil Mack. Now, we're not expecting Ashton Jeanty to block Khalil Mack, but what I am expecting him to do is get low and at least impact him ever so slightly. But as the play continues, Ashton Jeanty goes to double with Glaze for some reason. He doesn't pick up Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack runs right by him. Alex Kappa's too late because he's not doing anything either. And it's a sack. So that's on Alex Kappa and Ashton Jeanty to be able to figure that out and pass that off. Because if right here, Kappa, and really more so Jeanty, this is on Jeanty more than Kappa, is able to figure this out, Geno can just turn and fire to a wide open Brock Bowers. So let's watch the play develop here from the left side as if Geno was able to throw the ball. Down here, Jack Besh, a little curl route. Brock Bowers is standing wide open in the middle of the field. That's on Ashton Jeanty. He's got to be able to pick this up. We'll watch the play from this angle. This guy drops out. This guy blitzes. Derwin James picks for Khalil Mack. And that's it. You're toast. Ashton, look, Glaze is clearly saying to Ashton on this play, this little hand signal, here he comes. He's coming to pick me. You got to be ready for this if you're Ashton Jeanty. And he doesn't impact the play at all, and Geno goes down. And that's on Ashton. So he's got to get better at that. That doesn't mean take him out of the game, but he absolutely has to get better at that. Now, what I will show you is why I'm even more confident in his ability to run the football after watching this play. And this play could have been a touchdown if not for a missed block by Jacoby Myers. So here comes Trey Tucker in motion. Jeanty makes 1 cut, makes 2 cuts, and he gets tackled for a 5-yard gain. But what I love to see here is the vision. Look at the vision here. Jeanty gets the ball. He can go here. This guy might take him out. This guy might come off a block. He can come back here. He decides I'm going to cut it back this way, okay? So he cuts it back, makes 1 guy miss. No thanks. Makes 2 guys miss. No thanks. Now right here, this is a touchdown. If Jacoby Myers is able to make any sort of contact on the DB right here, it's goodbye. None of these guys are catching up to Ashton Jeanty. So let's see what happens with Jacoby Myers. Ashton makes 1 guy miss. He makes 2 guy misses. Here comes Jacoby. Completely whiffs. And he gets tackled one more time because this thing was in the way. 1 guy miss. 2 guy miss. It's a touchdown right there. And on film, this is a fixable mistake. You got to be able to make contact with this guy if you're Jacoby Myers. because Genty's gone. So what I'm proving right now with the Geno pick, with the missed assignment on the block, and Genty's ability to make guys miss in the open field is that these are fixable mistakes. This isn't players getting overpowered. Now, the Chargers' defense was better than the Raiders' offense yesterday, and they probably have better personnel, okay? I'm not denying that. And I could have pulled out plenty of plays where Dylan Parham was getting lit up, right? Because everyone was talking about how bad he was yesterday. All right, he was bad yesterday. People are allowed to have bad games. He wasn't bad in week 1. He was really good last year and really good the year before. We can't start panicking about one bad game, even if it is the home opener, even if it is against a division rival. Because if you were the coach, what would you do? Just put Putnam at left guard. Put JPJ at center, put Jordan. The offensive line needs to have consistency and stability to be able to grow. You cannot all willy-nilly start benching people. Colton Miller had some bad games last year. Nobody was saying that he should get benched. Dylan Parham had a bad game. We don't need to pull the film on it. It was not good. The same thing with Geno Smith. But did Geno Smith and Dylan Parham forget how to play football? Maybe. I'm going to bet against it. This was the problem with the game plan here. As I bring this play up, stand by. Here we go. So this is just kind of a microcosm of our game plan of wanting to throw it deep. Now, this was in the third quarter, and what I liked about the third quarter is that we kind of abandoned the deep pass for the most part, and we decided to just take what was given. But this is, look at these 3 DBs here, okay? See this? This is what they were playing most of the game. So let's watch this play, okay? Geno's looking, good protection, wants to take a shot, isn't there, has to check it down. Okay? The play here, and he's looking at Jacoby the whole time, is to hit Jacoby Myers, who's right here, on a seam route. Jacoby's running down the middle of the field, and it's just not there. It's just not there. Now, Geno maybe wants to wait one more second to see if Jacoby can beat this guy, but it's not there. He could maybe try to force it here, but he's got to kind of layer it over here, and he's about to get hit. Now, DJ Glaze on this play gave Geno Smith time for the most part, but once it's not there, you got to just check it down. You need Michael Mayer to be able to block this guy, and which he does a little bit, but you need, or is that Brock Bowers? That's actually Brock. And Brock was, physically not really able to go. Clean pocket, and you have to check it down. But this was just I just wanted to pull this because we don't have to pull 9 different deep plays. This is what we were trying to do the whole game, and this is the defense that they were showing. And in the beginning, we kind of were a little shell-shocked by the fact that they were just taking away every single deep pass. And the last thing I want to pull here is Geno's third pick. Now, I know everyone's like, he had 3 picks. Again, the first pick was terrible. The second pick, whatever. It was a punt. The third pick, this was just a phenomenal play. Now, Geno could have got this ball to Trey Tucker, as you can see, but this was just a really good play. So he has good protection. This basically ended the game. It's tipped up in the air, and it's picked off. Now, I don't think this kind of shows anything. Oh, yeah, this actually does. Now, look, he definitely could have thrown this ball to Trey Tucker right now, right? But there's a guy in his grill. He's got to get rid of the ball soon. And as he releases the ball's at the 20-yard line right here. Derwin James's head is not turned to the ball. And if we take this in slow motion, it's still not turned. The ball's at the 10-yard line. Derwin James still doesn't know the ball's coming. Now he turns at the 5. He gets a hand up, and it's tipped right to the defender. What you're taught as a quarterback is that if the DB's head is turned to you and you've got a good playmaker, and Jacoby's a good playmaker, you throw the ball right there. It's either going to be a pass interference or it's going to be a catch. And when Geno sees this here, he sees Jacoby. He's got to let the ball go. Look at Derwin James. Derwin James has no idea this ball is coming until right now. And right now it's one-on-one. Jacoby gets his hands up. I get it. Geno threw 3 picks. It doesn't look good on the stat sheet, and he had 1 really bad pick. The second pick, whatever, it's a punt, like I said. That pick, that's just a great player making a great play. Geno was off. He missed some throws, but the game plan did not work in the first half. In the second half, they were able to dink and dunk their way down the field. Unfortunately, it ended in the field goal, which really kind of ended the game. The defense was able to get pressure at times and was able to force some errant throws from Justin Herbert. They let up that big play at the end of the first half, which was kind of on Kyu Blu Kelly. That was really bad because even if they go down and kick a field goal, we're only down 7 points coming out of halftime. Instead, we were down 17-6 instead of what it would have been 13-6. I just think these plays show you that we're going to be okay. Gente needs to do a better job at pass pro. They cannot abandon the run in the second half. If Gente doesn't know what the play is, pull him out of the game. I completely agree with that coaching-wise. Geno's second and third picks, I don't really put much stock into, to be completely honest with you. And we got to do better situationally. But again, I do think what this film shows you is that these are fixable mistakes on offense. And Pete Carroll said as much. We're such a new football team. I wish I could remember the quote. It was from a famous coach. I want to say it's Nick Saban, but I'm not positive. He said something like, you have no idea what your football team is until like your bye week. And then you start to realize your strengths and weaknesses, where you need to improve, what you need to crack down on the film. And when you play a lot of young guys, you need mistakes on the film as soon as possible so you can learn from them. Ashton Gente had a bad game in week 1. He had a decent game this week when he got the ball. Week 3, I expect him to be even better. Geno Smith, I want him to continue to push the ball down the field, but if it's not there, take what's given. The offensive line has to protect better, although I don't think all of the pressure that they gave up yesterday was on the offensive line. I thought the offensive line was fine. We have an average offensive line. When people say, I can't believe the offensive line isn't playing well. Well, sometimes average people play not great, and sometimes they play a little bit better than average. Right now, we're average. We're going up against a good defense next week, 10 a.m. body clock. Look, I had us going 1-2 to start the season, and if we lose to the Commanders and we look better, it is what it is. But we have to find a way to fix these offensive mistakes. So, that's the Week 2 film breakdown. I think that's going to be all for me. Thank you so much for watching. Am I being too positive? I don't think so. I think I'm just telling it like it is. Drop likes, drop comments, join the Patreon, join the Discord, YouTube members. It's all linked in the description below. And please be sure to subscribe. It's free. It's no charge to you. I love you guys. And I'll see you next time.